3 candles. More candles. A tent. And I must follow the leftwards trail. A moon. A big moon. Well, I think it's safe to assume I need to follow the candles now, don't you think?
I wish I could have known Donald in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
You know what? Bet I am Donnelly. So, it turns out... Yes, this game does have a day-night cycle, but it's not so much a cycle as tied into the story.
For fire and soil, I chose fire. It seemed the more contemporary of the options, the more sanitary. I could not bear the thought of the reassembly of such a ruin. Stitching arm to shoulder and femur to hip, charting a line of thread like traffic stilled on a motorway, making it all acceptable for tearful aunts and traumatized uncles flown in specially for the occasion. Reduce to ash, mix with water, make a phosphorescent paint for these rocks and ceiling.
The attention to detail is stunning. Follow the candles. I trust the candles now. Well, there's the area. How to get there? Follow the aerial and follow the modern hieroglyphs. Or not. Isn't this where I came from? Yeah. Okay, I'm getting a little confused now. Let's go back to properly tracing the trail. So I came out of the cave, I went left past the hieroglyph, tried the one pier, this other leads to the candle. Can I walk up this? No, that would be silly. Yeah, no. Left down this way, past the candles in the sand. Ooh, there's one candle burning further off. That must be it. Probably went around this the wrong way. Yeah, there's a cave further down in the rock. Silly me. Saw that cave. How did I miss this? Chemicals, I don't know what they are. What? NE? Except it's the other way around. If you look at it upside down, it's northeast. Stars. Where did he get all these candles? That's my question. Various car parts. Disassembled. Each made it to a little shrine.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
Something flight from heaven. Light from heaven shone around. Him. Light from heaven shone around him.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Stairs up. A building. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Bird's eggs. Boat launch. Up the stairs. Looks like we're going to the area now. Stone steps this time. With a metal railing.
When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they resuscitated him by hitting him in the chest with stones gathered by the roadside. He was lifeless for 21 minutes, certainly long enough for the oxygen levels in his brain to have decreased and caused hallucinations and delusions of transcendence. I'm running out of painkillers, and the moon has become almost unbearably bright.
That was an incredibly sad paragraph. The moon is very bright. Feels odd to be going down when I'm supposed to be going up. Up.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
And as he was proceeding on his journey, he what's off there. I don't think that's more writing. I think that's just rock. And was come near to Damascus as it was something the journey near Damascus. And
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
And he was 3 days without sight. And neither did he eat. Nor drink.
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air.
So this is very metaphorical. I'm getting that much at least. It came to pass that as I made my journey, getting more radio static. There's that big glyph on the cliff. Can't read that. Something that as I was on my journey and it was near noon.
blind with panic, deaf with the roar of the caged traffic. Heart stopped on the road to Damascus. Paul sat at the roadside, hunched up like a gull, like a bloody gull. As useless and as doomed as a syphilitic cartographer, a dying goat herd, an infected leg, a kidney stone, blocking the traffic bound for Sanford and Exeter. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. All his roads and his tunnels and his paths led inevitably to this moment of impact. This is not a recorded natural condition. He should not be sat there with his chemicals and his circuit diagrams. He should not be sat there at all.
Again, I don't have any words right now. I'm just digesting this all. At long last, the Ariel.
I have run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
Is this
Dear
a suicide?
Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. You have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
Wow. That was quite powerful. I'm not sure I totally understand it all. That was a really powerful story. I know that much. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be doing something right now. I still hear sounds. Screen is dark. Can't use the mouse. At least it's not appearing to do anything. Raz is not doing anything. This seems to be the end. Yeah, I think this is the end. We're sitting here to digest things. Well, thank you for sharing this with me. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough of Dear Esther. I would definitely recommend it. It's not a game per se, it's more of an interactive story. But those fall under the game's umbrella. And so, check it out if that's your type of thing. Thanks. This is Key Beeper, signing off.